Good morning, everyone. My name is Hizel, and I'm very happy to be here. Thanks to Mr. Muhammad and to Al Institute for this invitation, and of course to Ms. Dalia. We are very happy to be here, and Mr. Muhammad, I think they want to be here. We can feel the energy, and this makes us even more excited to give this presentation. So today we want to talk about a topic that is not really important today. This is what I think. I think when people talk about reading, we think, reading, what is it? Like, we read at school and we learn things, but that's the end of it. Why do we have to talk about something like as simple and as stupid as reading? You know, it's not something important. But is this true? Is this true? Is this the case that reading is not important? And is all reading just the reading that we do at school? Or is there another kind or other kinds of reading? So today we will talk about all of these things. But before we start, let's start with this question. So why do we read? I talked about reading for school, but why do we read in general? Why are these books here? Why are these books there? Why do we read?
Why do you read?
Yes? To grow? Okay. Explore new worlds.
To increase our knowledge.
To increase,
Because from my opinion, knowledge is a great weapon.
to increase our knowledge, because knowledge is a great weapon. Okay. To learn new ideas, right? Yes? To grow our language and communication skills.
I want the next generation to benefit from me. If I benefit from something, I can pass it. I can pass it to
Of course.
to others.
Yeah. We learn so that we can also teach others and help others grow. Yes? We learn to improve ourselves. All of these answers are correct. Yes? To know, very, very good, of course, to know other cultures. So I think, yes, of course, to think better, to learn to get new information. So I think we agree now that reading is more than reading for passing tests and getting a degree or whatever, right? Reading is important for us to become better people, to help other people, to learn about other cultures, right? But still, there are many other details that we are going to get into in a moment. So as you said, we are summing it up here, we read for life. Because all of these things that you just said, they make life, right? Reading helps strengthen our inner personalities. Reading helps us deepen empathy and feed an endless curiosity. So we will talk about this in details in a few minutes, about how it helps us become stronger people, how it helps us become more curious, more empathetic. Okay, and now we will, Harold Bloom, this person, he was an American literary critic. He was a very famous and important scholar, and he says about reading, he says, we read deeply, not to believe or accept, but to learn to share in that one nature that writes and reads. We read to learn from the writer. We read to feel the writer. We read to feel the culture and the history of the writer. So we engage in, together with the writer, in this shared experience that is rich and deep. Ms. Dalia, would you like to say? Okay. So I'll read it again. We read deeply, not to believe or accept. You don't have to read anything to force yourself to believe something or accept something. That's not the purpose of reading. But the purpose of reading is to learn to share in that one nature that writes and reads.
Guys, do you agree with this point? Can you paraphrase this point? What is Harold Bloom talking about? Can you read the quote? يلا اكتبوا معي. Yes, honey. Okay.
We read deeply, not to believe or accept, but to learn to share in that one nature that the writers and reads.
Yeah. So sometimes we read books like maybe something related to religion, right? Maybe you want to learn more about other religions, but it's not obligated to change your religion, tamam? Yeah, okay? You want to get more information about other cultures. You are not able to travel anywhere. So buy a book, okay? Exactly. Okay, so you can get a lot of information. Right? Yeah. Okay, is this point clear? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we've started by saying reading and reading, but as I said also, there are different kinds of readings. And one of them is called life-making reading, and the other one is school-making reading. What's the difference when you see these two words, life-making reading versus school-making reading? Are they the same thing, or are they different? And how are they different? Yes?
Well, I think school reading is just to collect marks and pass exams. But life reading is to improve yourself, your mind, or when you learn something, not just
Yes.
keep it for yourself, but share it with everyone.
Correct. We also had a lady, there was a hand here. Please?
The difference between life reading and school reading. Life reading is personal, and school
Yes.
reading is practical.
Right. Very true. Yes.
Life reading helps in real life growth, while school reading helps in academic success.
These answers are all correct.
Readers?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have
Tell me why or how.
do we have life readers here?
Yes,
Do we have people who read for life?
raise your hand.
Just raise your hands if you like. You don't have to.
Shalan.
Yeah.
Fatma. Who else?
Okay.
Yes, oh, Jihan. Ronahe. Even Nada. Sarah, you too?
Because of the culture.
Because of the culture.
Literature, yeah.
Okay. But that's an interesting point, actually. Yeah. So you can differentiate because you teach literature, right? So for you, it's part of your job, right?
Sometimes I don't feel interesting. يعني, I'm not for, I cannot say interesting. Who should be not?
Okay.
You know what? Because when I will come to read a novel, I don't read it to just enjoy it, as you say. No, I read it in an analytical way, psychological way.
yeah.
That's why I have been learned from
Yeah.
our study. At the beginning, I was reading for the plot, for
Yeah.
the end, happy ending, sad ending, tragedy. But now, when I read, my perspective is a little bit different.
So Mr. Muhammad is actually he's talking about a very important thing about reading, which is the idea of pleasure and Of course, and that's what we'll come to in a minute. But Mr. Muhammad, that's like that. This is one of the difference between school reading and life reading. Yeah, and we will explain all of this in details also in a minute. I think Mr. Muhammad, you need more of life making reading here.
Maybe I need to read
Yeah.
different books out
Yeah.
of literature. Maybe. For example,
That is-
finance,
Yeah,
Tanmiyya Bashariya maybe, for
yeah,
example.
of course.
That would be good for
So, yeah. So, school making is the kind of reading that we do for exams, yeah, to get up grades, to get measurable results. But life making reading is the reading for meaning. So for example, there are books, philosophy. Why do we read philosophy? Because we want to understand more about about life, about why we are here, what does it mean to be human, and so on. Reflection, again, we read to reflect and self-reflect, to reflect on life, to think about life, to think about ourselves as humans. And transformation, of course, change is very important, right? We read, so life reading is also for changing ourselves, for improving ourselves. That's what life-making reading does. And of course, we also have to keep in mind that science actually tells us a lot about the benefits of reading. There are so many benefits to reading if you go and just check. So, for example, neural activation. Reading fiction activates the same brain circuits as real experience. So what this means is that, for example, when you are reading a story, you enter a world, you're entering a world, and you are facing characters and situations. And in your brain thinks that all of this is real. All of this is real. So you are, in a way, in that world. You get into in that world, and you become part of that world, and you feel what they feel, and you think what they think. Yeah? So the idea is that it changed the brain. It also changed the brain. Are you familiar with the term neuroplasticity? Again, neuroplasticity means that the cells in our, or the neurons in our brain, they can be changed. So it's what we have here all is not fixed. It can be changed through reading. Previously, we used to think that it's all genetics, right? Wirotha? Yeah, genot. So if you're smart, you're smart. If you're dumb, you're dumb, right? We cannot become smarter people. This is what we used to believe in the past. But now, studies tell us that we actually can be smarter because reading changes our brains, yeah? And reading changes the way we think. And of course, also for empathy, this is something that Rayan will talk about what empathy means and how reading helps us become more empathetic. Motives of reading. Reading does certain things for us. Reading is good in certain ways. So by motives, we mean that. Reading gives us certain things, okay? And one of the things, very important things that reading gives us is inner strength. Can you translate this to Kurdish or Arabic? Inner strength? Hizel? Hizel nafkhi. وانا hizel dakhili, hizel nafkhi.
What do you think
قوة
about
داخلية.
inner strength? Any comment?
Yes.
Reading helps me believe myself and face challenges regularly.
Right. Confidence, building confidence.
I think, in my opinion,
Yeah.
that's make you don't be shy and speak.
And speak up, yeah. So, and what does Epictetus? Sorry.
I think by inner strength you mean being more confident of yourself and
Yeah.
speak up and don't
Right.
feel silent. You have to speak.
Yes, Fatima.
Inner strength is inside us, in our thought and in our emotion.
Very right. True. And Epictetus, the Greek philosopher, tells us we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond. So this is a quote from a book, Discourses. And when I read this passage, I became even stronger mentally because it helped me understand this idea. External circumstances, ظروف خارجية. Yeah. So when it rains, I can't stop, the sky from raining. This is something that is not in my power, so I don't have to worry about that. But I can always, so I can choose how to respond. So I can tell myself, this is something that I cannot control, so I will not focus on it. I'll focus on something else, something that I can control. And this makes me stronger. This gives me inner strength, as an example. And now we'll hear another example from Fatma about how reading a book changed her and gave her inner strength. Fatma, please.
Sorry, when you say how we respond in terms of attitude or speech?
Attitude.
Oh, attitude.
Yeah. So as I said, for example, you know that, as I said, with the rain or when there's an earthquake, right? Can you do something about earthquakes? No, right? But you can control your attitude towards, that event. So you can say, okay, I have to stay calm.
If I'm educated, if I'm a good reader, if I'm aware of the instruction, if I read about the instruction,
Exactly.
I will take some steps, for example.
Exactly. So you'll say, okay, I can't do anything about this. Let me think now about how I can deal with this in a positive and in a good way, in a way that can help me actually. Yeah. Yes, Fatma.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Fatma. Now I want to share my experience with this book and how it helped me to grow my inner strength. Reading the Institute book by Stephen King, it really changed how I see the inner strength. The story is about Luke Ellis that teach me and showed me how I see the inner strength. Inner strength is not just about fighting and training, it's about not giving up and when you're even when you're scared and feel alone. And also, okay, when Luke Ellis in this story faced so much fears and many problems, but he never lost his hope and kindness. And that's make me feel how strong we are, and inner strength is connected with subconscious mind. Yes, and that make us very strong. And sometimes we don't even know how strong we are, even the life tests us. And our subconscious mind make us to moving forward and reminding us to believe and fighting and for survival. The Institute book taught me the true power inside us, in our thought and in our emotion. And also, whenever I face a big problem or any difficult situation, I remember a quote of Luke Ellis and let me feel and help me to find my inner strength.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, can I have the book for him? Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much, Fatma, for this and for this presentation. And this is a novel. This is a story, and we just heard from her how a story, how a character, a hero, from a book, from a story, can teach us and can inspire us and can make us stronger people. Yeah. Even because many people think, well, stories are useless. No, you're useless. Stories are not useless. Yeah. So thank you so much. Yes.
Mr. Hizel, may I share my
Of course.
one experience?
Yeah.
For you, young generation, I highly recommend Alchemist. Have you heard about Alchemist? Paulo Coelho? Do you know? Really? Okay. So it's all about
San Diego.
Yes, okay. The young man who wants to go to Egypt. Why? To find the treasure. Okay? So it's all about believing in yourself. Okay? Try tell you, get your goals. Okay, yeah. Try to achieve your goals. So it's really interesting. You'll get a lot of new vocabularies and expressions. Even no need to check the dictionary. It's like a story. Okay? But for me, I spent hours reading the story. It's really interesting. Okay? It shows you how it's really important to trust yourself. Okay? Yeah. Believe in yourself. So, Alchemist. Okay?
All right. So, inner strength now was the first motive, but we have other motives. The second one is empathy. And empathy simply means when you try to put yourself in someone else's shoe. And if you just try to feel what they feel, right? So this is empathy, and I let Rayan talk more about empathy and about how a single poem made him a more empathetic person. And the poem is in Arabic, which is also a very interesting thing.
And even effective, more effective than any other.
Arabic poetry, of course. So, Rayan, the floor is yours.
Guys, do you do this when you read stories? Do you do this?
Sorry?
There's a phrase, claim into his skin.
Characters?
Yeah.
Say, I wish I were Falan. Really?
It means to step into someone's shoe or skin. It means the same.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ryan. I'm a student in University of Beirut, College of Languages, Arabic Department. And I'm also an English instructor in a private institute. And I want to really thank Ms. Dalia, Mr. Hizel, and Mr. Muhammad for this opportunity. Because for me, the first word that I think about after reading is poetry. I choose my major because poetry and literature in Arabic. And I want to start with quoting from one of my favorite books and movies. It's called The Dead Poets Society. And it says, words and ideas can change the world. We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. And medicine, law, business, engineering, those are noble pursuits necessary to stay in life. But poetry, beauty, romance, that's what we stay alive for. For me, personally, I read poetry so I can understand and express emotions, not just of mine, but of others as well. That's what empathy is, feeling what someone else felt, or finally finding words for something that you felt but you couldn't really express. I say sometimes poetry is the peak of the human emotion. A situation, one day during the summer, I visited my uni, and wherever I look, I remember my friends, and one of them is with me today, thanks to him. I remember our walks, our laughs, where we used to sit for hours and talk about life. All of those emotions, I didn't want to put it in something simple, be like, hey guys, I miss you. Or, I just saw the uni, I remembered you. No, I wanted it to be something more deep. So I started reading, and the books that I read mostly, this is an example of this book, and it's called Dian. So Dian, most of them, it's like a poet. It talks about his life, a literature character, and all the book is just his poetry, and it explains it. So one of the poems that between the lines of it, I found myself, and if Mr. Hizel can show it, this is the poem. It's in Arabic, and it says, it goes like this: متى يا كرام الحي عيني تراكم وأسمع من تلك الديار نباكم أمر على الأبواب من غير حاجة لعلي أراكم وأرى من يراكم سقاني الهوى من الحب كأسا صافيا فيا ليته لما سقاني سقاكم. The poem shows that the poet, his love for his people and the one he missed, and how deeply he misses them, and how he's going to some places, just maybe he can see those people again. And in the end, I want to say again, that's why we read and write poetry, to remind ourselves that we are still alive. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much.
By the way, Mr. Hizel is a poet. Okay? So yes, go and follow his page so you will see like, he writes in English, Kurdish and Arabic as well. Yeah, yeah. He almost always make me tired. Yeah.
Thank you. A question for everyone. Can you think of a book or a poem or a story that that made you very emotional and that made you more empathetic? Because we are talking about empathy, about feeling what others feel. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Gone with the wind, Shannon.
Okay. It's a sad ending.
Can
Okay.
you give us a
And-
comment, Salah?
I think for the character, like, what can I say? She had lost many battles, but she never lost the war. So she keeps fighting the fight, the life, even in the war beginning, in the America, South America and North America. So she lost many battles, but she never lost the war.
So what does that mean? It means, so for example, if we read about, if we read a story and we read about a character losing a battle or a fight, and what does that, of course, if it's well written, a well written story, what does that do to us? So as we said, it makes us more empathetic, and it makes you as readers, first a window. You or the book becomes the window through which you can see that world, and yes, and at the same time. So this loss, for example, also helps you reflect on yourself, on life, and it makes us become humble and more humane, and so for that reason, especially reading fiction stories is important for empathy. Reading also is good for curiosity, or we read for curiosity. We humans are curious in nature, right? ام فضولينا وانا we are curious and we always want to learn new things, see new people, see new cultures, new things, even be more creative, explore more, and do all of these things. And we can do that, so you can visit the whole world, for example, just by reading books. And Ms. Dalia, I think you have someone
We have
Yeah.
surprise, yellow beautiful ladies.
That will read
Where's
some,
the book?
yeah, some passages from a book, and
In Kurdish, by the way.
yeah, sure, it's in Kurdish, and hopefully this book will make us all more curious, yeah, to okay.
درباره مروفشیان و رامانه یا دکتر غربی از پیش نمیشه باش کسایی که دکتر غربی ناسون کسایی که دکتر غربی زهای دوره پرتقال از این که برگه کش پرتقالی خیلی دیاره دیونه پرتقالی خواندن و پرتقال گشتن هزری اگر کشیان نبین گشتا بوالات نگی بکی و سربورن خون کسایی که هز برفی گشت که هزری بنا جهان پرتقال داده که و هر پرتقال که دخونی درگاه که جهان آتی داده بده
جهان کتی دارمش ایده دیگه که دردونه که بسیار دیگر من خوب بده اونم جهان چرا که دار خریده دیگه مسائلیم چرا که جی کنی بی سپیده باش کارجا بمانی که از دیجی کنم دوی جهان آشوب یعنی بیسری آفران دیگه راستی جیانی بینه و دو بهاندنا کساتی چرا که دا دی سرشت مروانیاسی هنده کساتی چرا که دو نفوری تیمونده یا اب کسی دی جیانا تلا اب پارتو که درم مفایده این کتت و زیده نرینی بکش
Can I?
Can you paraphrase this, or can you give any comment? That's it. Oh, yeah. New culture, new people. Okay. Can you? Yeah. Can you say the same comment but in English? So, curiosity. Maybe you want to learn more about certain culture. Come on, you are not able to travel abroad. So, simply buy a book, read a book. Okay? Yes. Thank you so much, ladies. طبعا هذا منح زكريا هو مكافأة حاضر. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And okay, there's this. It's actually, it was a quote, but I paraphrased it. One French thinker, I think he's French, he says that to lack curiosity about where we come from and where we are going, this is the mark of the barbarian, not the reader. I know this is very strong, like but we have to realize this. If we as humans, everyone, if we are not curious enough about ourselves, about meaning, about why we are here, where we are going, about our future, about even our past. Like if you're not curious enough to know about your ancestors, okay? And if you're not curious about what is happening in the world right now, and if you're not curious enough to learn about the future, and again, to ask yourselves, what's the meaning of my existence in this world? If you don't have this curiosity, are you really, I'm sorry, but this is a question to me then to you. Are we really human? Because humans are curious. Our ancestors, our grandfathers, they were curious. Hunter-gatherers. وأقول لأبويا في مصطلحها hunter-gatherers. So بري هزارو سالا مروف چونه نچیره, right? Hunting, right? And of course, it was a necessity, so that they had to go hunting and find food, right? They had to eat. But also, they were curious. I mean, one reason was curiosity. So they went to different places. They went to different places and they explored different areas, different countries, and continents, and so on. Yeah? So if we are not curious enough to learn more about ourselves, and this is what that French thinker says. He says, this is the mark of the barbarian. Barbarian عربية منا بربرية أنجيك وحشي متوحش يعني. But we can also use another word and maybe say uncivilized, or
Or Middle East.
Well, Middle Eastern. Yeah.
For
And so,
example, sorry, Mr.
yeah.
Here, I have just a point. Those nations, for example, you can say European or American nation, you can say, they have curiosity for their future, where they are going. That's the main reason why they developed.
Okay.
Okay? But we don't have curiosity for the future. We have curiosity for the past. Always we look at the past. We give more importance to the history. We always talk about Amawi, Abbasi, Jahili, etc. to the back. But what they do, they look forward. And we look back. That's the difference. So we go back and they go forward.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons why we are talking about this today, right? Because we want to really just stop and think about this. This is really important, right? And I'll say something more about this at the end. I left it, I kept it for the end, but for now, we will move to the fourth motive, which is, of course, pleasure, right? We read because it's fun. It's fun. Now, some of you might be thinking, how is it fun? But isn't this more fun, right? Isn't doom scrolling and making, I don't know, TikTok videos, isn't that more fun? But again, according to studies, no, actually, this is more fun. Yeah? The pleasure that we get from reading, among other things, is much deeper and much more lasting. Yeah, because it
We are like inside the book.
yeah, you become part of it. Yeah, you become part of this. Yeah. So when you open this, you are actually opening the door of a world. But this is not a new world. Every book is a new world, but every phone is just a phone. Every social media account is just a social media account. Yes. So here you're not really talking to people, but here you are having a conversation with great minds, actually. In this last part, we'll talk about some principles of reading, which means we'll talk about how we should read. And the first tip is that when you want to read a book, try to clear your mind of cant. What is cant? Cliches, borrowed opinions, ideological slogans we inherit without examination. Of course. In other words, this means that when we read, we have to be open. We need an open mind. درستا مش كيف فاكر يفتن بخينين. يعني نبجن أف كتابة مثلا سر فلان بابتيا نا أسنوخينم تشينوبيتن أو سر فلان أبدي تشينوبيتن. No, give yourself a chance. Reading a book doesn't mean that you agree with the content of the book. درستا؟
Changing your principles.
Exactly. يعني أفا إكش كتابك جالك عظيمة. But still, when I read this, I don't have to agree with everything that is in this book. But still, right? So it's important. So openness, yeah, having an open mind while reading is very important. So this is clearing the mind of Kant. And also when you're reading, you should be reading for yourself. Don't read don't read for the society. Don't read for, because also this is something that a lot of people talk about. They say, well, we have to read so that we can change the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't change the world.
Change
Yeah,
yourselves.
don't change the world. Just try to read books from time to time. That's what you have to do. Just try to improve yourselves. That's all you need to do. You don't need to change the world. Trust me. Yeah. This is also very important, the inventive reader. Again, when you are reading, you are participating with the writer in the process of thinking. يعني وقت تدخيني تنتشتكي جوميدي الويري وتهميش بيجي روستا بالي درستا. No, try to co-create meaning. يعني أو تشتي هوتي أنا بيسندن. You think about it.
So critical thinking, Mr.
Yes,
Hizel,
yes.
help them to think critically, deeply.
Yes,
Come on.
yes, yeah. Be critical. Yeah, you give it your own interpretation, right? You don't have to go and ask anyone. I mean, sometimes, of course, but you can just understand it the way that you think is correct. Okay, so you have to give yourselves this space. Yeah, that, and you have the right to say, this is how I understand the text. That's fully okay. Tamam? And we're back to the same question. And this is a question that I think we have to ask ourselves. It's very important that we have to keep asking ourselves, right? Why? Because reading is at the end a necessity. خواندن بتویه که حاجتکه. It's a necessity. It's necessary that we read. It's not just something. Of course, we have to like what we read. It's good for it makes us feel good, right? But what is, I think, more important is that it's necessary. Like I just drank 2 of these because it was necessary for me. I was thirsty.
You have to take it as important as water.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is necessary because we as humans, we need to take care of our mental well-being, our physical well-being, our minds, and we need to, yeah. And thank you for reminding me of this point, because we always, nowadays the trend is that we have to eat healthy food, right? We have to be healthy, and we have to keep our bodies healthy. That is all very true and very good. But also we have to keep our minds healthy.
So even to read healthy books also.
We can, yeah.
Spoil our minds.
That is, I mean, but it's your decision to make. Yeah, what kind of books you want to read. Yeah? But think about it in this way. What you're, again, where was that phone? Yeah. This is also feeding the mind, right? Because we get a lot of information from here. And this is also giving you information. So try to feed your mind and try to take care of your mind. And I think that's the end of it. Ms. Dalia, if you have anything to add? or if you have any questions or any feedback, I'd be happy to hear it.
If you have any questions,
Yeah.
you can ask.
Yes.
Many people, they reading help us understand the self and the world. That precisely is your definition of this talk, types of understanding within the context of reading. Does a person like a definite sense of self before why engage in depth reading?
Okay, can you read it again, please?
May I have a look?
Yeah.
Many people say that reading helps us understand the self. تمام. So,
What precise is your definition of understanding? When in the context of reading, does a person truly lack a defined sense of self before? Yeah.
in deep
Okay.
reading,
So I think the question is this: does reading help you understand yourself better? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes, of course, and of course reasons. One reason is that, for example, is in philosophy. So when you read a philosophy book, the philosophy book will talk about yourself as a human being, as an individual, right? About why you're here, what it means to be human, how should we be living together, how should we be behaving in a society. Psychology, also, Freud and others, Sigmund Freud, they talk about the self, they talk about the mind, and so, for example, nowadays I'm reading a poem, a book about trauma, sadma, trauma, yeah, and I'm learning a lot of things about myself because I think we are all traumatized, but also now I know more about the
Deal with it, to understand it.
yeah, and the human psychology. Last time we talked about mindset, but these were not there. Yeah, so it's another topic, but again, how the mind works. So if you learn all of these things, how to talk, how to behave, how to think, how the brain works, right? We learn these things from books, from reading. And when you know these things, that means you become closer to yourself.
The last question, yes, I have a question for you. How prepare ourselves for after the institute for a job?
I think the best thing you can do, and that you can start actually now, but even after graduation, is to invest in your own skills. So you may want to become an English language teacher. Work on that skill. So self improvement is the most important thing in life. Yeah? The more you improve yourself, the luckier you become. The more chances you can get. Yeah? So just try to improve. So you have to choose a skill. It could be teaching English, right? And work on that, improve it, work on it.
I have to choose the skills I want.
Exactly.
And work it in the job I want.
Exactly. Yeah. You do this, and a job will find you. Okay? Sure.
Can I answer her as well?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
For me, like for example, we're students in the same age. I'm second stage as well.
What?
Life is about the opportunities that it comes to you, take it. So you get the skills. I got my job because Ms. Dalia was sitting with two teachers in that coffee shop. She told me, why don't you go there to get to know them? I went to the coffee shop and I saw they need baristas and they wanted it without experience. I got my job. Done. One day she invited me for a It was a seminar in our university, and they wanted volunteers. I had a midterm, I had a final actually the day after it. It was on Wednesday. I was the only volunteer from Arabic department or any other department. All the students were from English department. The students were like laughing at me. You're Arabic department, what are you doing here? I was like, why not?
You have skills, right?
Exactly, I can be here, so why would I not be here and show myself? That's what I did. I went there, because of her, I got to know someone, and I got my job as an instructor during the summer. So take the opportunities, try new things, find yourself. By doing those things, you will find your skills.
Or I can find myself as I like another job.
Exactly. Yani, I'm an Arabic department. When I told people, when the first day students were coming to our academy, they were paying money to learn English. And I was a teacher there. And they were from English departments. They were like, how are you here? I was like, I built the skills. I took the opportunity, I learned, I grew, and here I am today. So it's never late. Just go for it. Try new things. Ms. Dalia, I saw her in my coffee shop. Mr. Hizel, they told me, why don't you participate in this? I didn't really know what to say at first. I was hesitant, and I was like, why not? Why not be here with you today? Look at the smiles.
You
Why
are
not?
most welcome.
Same as here, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for everyone.
Thank you.
Speaking in
Sorry, we
Arabic.
would like to thank you.
Thank you.
I was an English instructor there.
We would like to thank all of you and Mr. Hizel and Mr. Ryan. I would like to present something simple as appreciation of Mr. Hizel for his effort and for this amazing presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can someone take a
Yeah.
photo? Or?
You can do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
sir.
special thank for Mr. Ryan also.
Alex, بس.
امشيكم في بريك جبين كاسج بسيارة والجامعات عشان بريد دست بالكاسيدة
بلا عفوا بس. Thank you so much. Galaxy بس بخوش حال وين ممنون. Galaxy بس.